Okay, to jack up the back of this van, you just go right on the center of the differential. It's pretty straightforward. And then you put the jack stands out here on the edges. And there's where both of our jack stands are. Okay, to get these tires off, you got to get this hubcap off. You can use a screwdriver, or I like to use this little pry bar. Just give it a quick pop. They come right off. Set that off to the side. Now, I'm going to use air to get this off. You can use a star bar or a big breaker bar or something to get these things off. If you're going to use a star bar or a breaker bar, you're going to want to break all these lug nuts loose on the ground just a little bit before you get it up into the air. Okay, here we got our rear calipers. And it looks like we have two 13mm nuts that we're going to have to get off. So let's get some tools for that. So these are two 13mm. Now we're going to set this caliper right up there. And we're going to slide this brake pad off here. Brake pad off here. Now we're going to collapse this caliper. You use one of the old brake shoes and put it in here. Then we're going to take a C-clamp and push the pistons back in. When you position the C-clamp, you want to make sure that you get it in between the two pistons so it collapses this two-piston caliper evenly. Okay, now that we got the calipers collapsed, we're going to lube these caliper slides. I usually put a little bit up in there, take the pocket screwdriver and just do it. Now you want to take a bolt and slide them through and wipe off any of the excess Seal Glide that's inside. Now set the caliper back up here. Wipe your hands good before you start touching the brake pads. Now on this caliper there's a little indentation that has to go behind, and this little tab has to go up inside here. So we take the caliper, we slide it up in there, and now we push it right like that, and then slide it in. Repeat that for the other side, and then you'll have the rear brake pads put on. And then we have to put the tires on and torque the wheels. So we're going to get to that now. Okay, so we're done with the other side. We put new pads on it. Now we're here to put the tire on. Okay, when you tighten these things up, you want to bring the rim down evenly in a star formation. Also, you never want to tighten these things up with the parking brake on or having somebody hit the brake on the inside the car. it'll cause it so the tire won't suck down onto the hub correctly. And then you'll get a wobble or you get a warped rotor. So you want to make sure you snug these things down all the way. You never want to do the final tighten in the air with a star bar or a torque wrench. You'll get it as tight as you can, and then you drop it down on the ground and finish your final torque. I'm going to use this torque stick, and it's a 120 foot-pound torque stick, so I can do this all in the air, and I'll rotate around, and the last time I'll go all the way around to make sure that they're all good and tight. There you go. Now to put the hubcap on, you're going to want to start on one side and hold it over. Pinch down on this side over here, and then just give it a quick little hit, and there you go. Okay, so that's the rear pads on a 2000 E350 van. We still have a couple things to do. We have to go up and take the rest of the old brake fluid out of the master cylinder, fill that up, and then pump the brake pedal and seat these pads in. Before you ever move a car after you do brake pads, you want to pump the pedal and make sure that the pads have come out and contacted the caliper. And the first time you hit that brake pedal, it's going to go way to the floor, and you're going to think something's wrong, but that's just what's going to happen. So you pump the brake a couple of times after you put that new fluid in, and then you're ready for your test drive. Okay, so now that we got the rear brakes collapsed and the calipers pressed in all the way, we're going to suck the rest of the fluid out of this master cylinder. Before you start doing the job, also you want to make sure that you suck this fluid out first, because if you don't, then it's going to leak out the top of this and get all over the place, and we want to make sure that we also put in new brake fluid. So we've already sucked it out before we started, and now we're just going to take out the last little bit after collapsing the calipers. Okay, that's pretty much it. Before you add fluid to a brake system, you want to make sure that you're using the right fluid. So this says it's DOT3 approved, so we have the right brake fluid. And we're going to go ahead and start filling this thing up now. Okay, so now we're going to pump up this brake pedal to set the calipers against the rotors. You're going to see the first time it's going to go down all the way to the floor. So we're going to pump this pedal until it gets hard. Okay, that's hard. Now we're going to go check and make sure that the master cylinder is full. Okay, so now we're out here at the master cylinder, and you can see on the side right here the dark from the light on the reservoir right through here. So it's right at the full level. So we're good to go ahead and take this thing for a test drive. Make sure you put the... Okay, we just got back from our test drive from doing the rear brakes on this 2000 Ford E350. We have no problems, no warpage of the rotors for just putting those pads on there. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on White Collar Garage.